something every woman needs to hear. Painful periods are not normal, and ignoring them because it's just 1 or 2 days a month is one of the reasons why so many women struggle with stubborn belly fat or even bloating. And I know it may seem like unrelated, but in the next few minutes, I will show you what your period pain is really trying to tell you, how I was able to get rid of painful periods for good in just 30 days, and what you can do about it too, so you can enjoy pain-free cycles and also make another steps toward achieving optimal body fat effortlessly. But before I dive into how to, there are 2 things you really need to know. First, using painkillers, hot water bottle, or even natural anti-inflammatories like magnesium or ginger to relieve that period pain isn't the real solution. That's kind of like shoving clothes into the closet instead of actually cleaning your room. It looks fine on the surface, but the mess is still there. And if you keep ignoring it, it can really pile up into bigger problems. You may hate me for saying that, but don't blame aging or genetics for how you feel, because often a lot of symptoms you experience are from those unresolved imbalances building up over time. And then the second thing, and that's something I wish I knew earlier, your period is your free monthly feedback tool about your health. Period pain, heavy bleeding, irregular cycles, they are not just a part of being a woman like I used to think. It's your body saying, hey, I need attention, there is something off, I need your help. And if I'm completely honest, I used to hate my periods and I kept ignoring period pain for years, relying on painkillers because that's what also doctors told me. Some women just have painful periods. But trust me, it's not normal. The turning point for me was when I was turning 30 and I was just getting more frustrated with my body, acne, bloating, belly fat. I did a gut test for those reasons, but this test actually completely changed the way I looked at the period pain and women's health. And that's also when everything started to shift from constant battle to actually real freedom. So here is what I discovered. Most advice out there focuses on estrogen, fibroids, endometriosis, or even PCOS and other hormone imbalances in general as a cause of period pain. But what I found out is that the gut imbalance is often the driver behind that high estrogen and also period pain. And here is why gut matters more than anything else. Without balanced gut, your body cannot clear excess estrogen effectively, and also 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. And this is something I didn't know. When your gut is out of balance, your immune system can become overreactive, inflammation increases, and prostaglandins goes through the roof. Prostaglandins are like chili peppers in your dish. A little adds flavor, but throw in too many and suddenly your body will start burning. So in other words, high prostaglandins means terrible period pain. And here is also the part nobody really told me. When your body is inflamed, it will simply refuse to burn fat. So no wonder I couldn't lose that belly fat despite eating little or exercising. The inflammation from the poor gut health was higher than the benefits of healthy foods and all the supplements I was taking. So once I worked on my gut health and lowered inflammation, my very next cycle was almost pain-free. For the first time in my life, I didn't have to take painkillers, and that was also the moment when my body finally started letting go of that stubborn belly fat. So here is how you can relieve your period pain too from the root. That's the very important part, and also experience all the benefits that come with it. Before I get to the gut, the most important part, there are also 2 other things you need to implement too. So step 1 is calm your stress and nervous system. If you follow my channel, I know you may already get bored of hearing that all over again, but honestly, without this, your gut will not heal and nothing else will really work. What is interesting here, if you live in a survival do-do mode like I did for years, you will often not even feel stressed. You can do a quick free assessment to get an idea about your stress and cortisol levels. I will put the link in the description. But today I want to focus more on the gut part and omega-3-6 imbalance. So step 2 is balance your omega-3-6 ratio. Let's start with the common mistake. Taking omega-3 standard fish oil supplements is not always the best solution. If you don't reduce excess omega-6 intake from things like seed oils or even healthy foods like nuts in the first place, your body may still stay inflamed. And here is the thing that probably you haven't heard before. If you also don't balance your diet with enough of antioxidants like berries, pomegranate, or extra virgin olive oil, for example, the omega-3s you are taking can easily oxidize and actually increase inflammation. So before you decide on omega-3 supplements, the very first thing you want to do is just review your diet. You can use Chronometer website to get an idea where are you at by inputting foods you eat daily, or you can also do a test. For omega-6 free ratio, the sweet spot you want to aim for is 4:1 or even lower. And then finally, step 3, balance your gut. When I did the gut test, what turned out my secretory IgA, which is your immune system guard that helps you keep inflammation in check, was almost non-existent. Here, colostrum supplement was one of the key supplements that helped me to rebuild that. But the thing is that low secretory IgA was simply the result of years of stress, dysregulated nervous system, over-exercising, and few other stressors. So before you spend money on testing, I usually recommend to tick off the basics first, like stress, omega-3-6 balance I mentioned earlier, and also few gut balancing habits and tips that I will share with you now. In case you want a proper support and guidance, join my Superwoman formula, where I teach women cortisol blueprint, which is pretty much the foundation for healthy gut and how to balance hormones and nervous system for effortless fat loss. With daily chat support and weekly calls, you are not left alone with questions, and that's why also you can see results faster than you ever thought it's possible. But anyway, from the key practical gut balancing tips, there are 3 pillars you need to address. First one is digestion. Here, number 1 is lemon water or apple cider vinegar mixed with a bit of water before your meal. Alternatively, a handful of bitter greens like endive, for example. Those are great to support your digestion and protein breakdown. And then, super important, stop eating at 80% full. These little habits can take the load off your gut instantly. Then the second pillar is your gut microbiome, which can be a little bit tricky part, but definitely skip random probiotics unless you do the test. Here, spore-based strains are much safer without risk of developing SIBO or more bloat. If your body tolerates well goat kefir, fermented foods like sauerkraut or kimchi, for example, and soluble fiber like carrots or chia seed. These are great for your gut microbiome. And then the third pillar is your gut lining. That's where your immune system is. So if that's compromised, the inflammation will be just through the roof. From natural food support, here stewed apples, bone broth if histamine isn't an issue, or organ meats like chicken liver, for example, for vitamin A and zinc can help a lot. And of course, if you have some more severe gut imbalance, food only may not be enough. But when I look on my own experience and also a lot of clients I work with, the biggest shifts usually happen when people really start focusing on that stress and nervous system part. And it's hard to believe, and I wouldn't believe myself if I haven't experienced that. I, for example, had SIBO, so my first approach was go for all natural antimicrobials, gut supplements, and after a while, without seeing improvement, just wasting money on supplements and sometimes questioning, is it actually making me more bloated? I stopped. I kept supplements to minimum, like the spore-based biotics I mentioned, and really focus on that stress and nervous system part. And that's where everything starts shifting. So actually, when I stopped killing the bad bacteria and I just focus on creating that right environment for my body and gut to heal, that's where my bloating resolved and all other shifts happen that I mentioned. And that's why I'm also such a big advocate of not ignoring that stress nervous system part, because honestly, that's your shortcut to health and wellness. Anyway, knowing this is one thing, execution usually is the tricky part. So if you feel you struggle with consistency or all those healthy habits, no matter if it's nutrition or nervous system stress related, watch this video next.